Oh, hi folks, it's James. How you all doing? Going to do a evening video this evening. Just going to do a response to a great video that has recently been put up by Dale. That's Gatefold 33. Reasonably new UK-based channel, and just wanted to give him a shout out. So go and check him out if you haven't already. Really interesting collector. He's got some amazing records and some good stories to tell and some good ideas for videos. He's recently done a video on it was kind of like a show and tell island records thing, really interesting. I'll link to it, and in that video he discussed some of the history of island records and showed some of the more notable releases, and that got me thinking about maybe doing a thread, Gimme 10 on Island. So I started to go through my collection, and I was pulling things out, and it is an amazing label. So many things pop up on Island that you perhaps wouldn't expect to be on Island. You think of Island as being this Jamaican label that had certain notable pop rock artists in later years, people like Cat Stevens and just various well-known artists, and then you look along your shelves and you discover all sorts of things. So I'm just going to show 10. Quite a few of the ones I'm going to show are custom labels rather than the classic labels. I've got one pink rim to show you, and I've got a couple of the other standard labels. Dale showed a lot of the kind of classic labels. I thought it would be interesting to show some custom ones. So I'm going to go in chronological order, starting in 1970, and I think I finish up in 1981. Okay. Again, not a band that you'd expect to see on Island. This is Emerson, Lake and Palmer and their first album. You get the idea. Moving forward to, I think, 1973, we've got Brian Ferry. I think this was his first solo album. I could be mistaken. It's the one that's got all the cover versions on it. Hard Rain's Gonna Fall by Bob Dylan, Sympathy for the Devil by the Stones, all sorts of stuff. So this is the first custom label. Got a kind of a silhouette effect of Brian in profile there. We jump now to 1974. This is John Cale, who I think worked as an A&R man for Island Records for a while, and he put out maybe 3 albums on Island. It might have been 4. This is Fear. Actually, this is also a pink rim. Just to quickly show you that. This is a great record. It's one of Cale's more kind of unhinged efforts. It's got that great track Fear is a Man's Best Friend on it, which is a fairly sinister song really. It's I think it's about a guy waiting for his fix. It's performed on the piano in a very kind of manic, unhinged style. Really influential record. We move now to, not sure of the date, I'll check for you in a moment. This is Sparks and Indiscreet. Classic 1970s album. This is a completely bonkers album. Hospitality on Parade, Pineapple, absolutely round the twist. And now we move to the beautiful orange and green palm tree label. This label I always associate it with Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles, which I had on 45. And we'll be seeing something of the Buggles quite soon. Of course, Island was completely famous for its reggae, so I thought I'd show this one as a representative. Actually, I've got two reggae ones coming, but this is one of them. This is Bob Marley and the Wailers live. Don't need to say too much about this. Just an absolutely legendary live album. And this one has got another custom label. What's the date on this one? 1975. So we're mid-decade now. It's got the nice custom label on it. I think we move 1 year later for this. This is another reggae classic on Island. This is Max Romeo and War in a Babylon. I picked this up from a junk shop a couple of years ago for, I think I paid about £15 for it. Amazing bargain. And that one is on the beautiful orange and green palm tree label also. I could have shown another album by this guy, but I wanted to show this one because it's a bit lesser known. This is John Martin and Grace and Danger. Now this came out, I think we're moving ahead again now. Let me just check the date on this one. Comes in a black inner. Island tended to have their own kind of, their own designed inner sleeves. Right, so now we've got the first beautiful blue label, and the date on this one is 1980 actually, so we're moving ahead now. So This album was produced, I think it was produced by Phil Collins, I could be mistaken. It's got Phil Collins on it anyway, and John Martin did do some good records in the 1970s. He kind of went a little bit wine bar in the 80s, but I sort of like all his albums really. This one is, let's see, it's produced and engineered by Martin Levin actually, but Phil Collins does play drums on it, and he's on backup vocals as well. It's not a bad album at all. I need to do a video on John Martin. This was the first album I probably had on Island when I was a kid. It was actually my dad's, and it is The Age of Plastic by the Buggles, which came out in 1980. Video Killed the Radio Star came out in 1979, I think, but then the album came out in 1980, quite early on, I think. And this is on that beautiful blue label as well. This was my dad's record. I always associate it with, he used to play it for me on his hi-fi, you know, so I used to look at the blue label and kind of lust after it, but I don't think I was allowed to put it on myself because it was his record and he wanted it taken care of, you know. We moved to 1981 now for the last two records, and we've got another custom label now. This is Grace Jones and Nightclubbing, of course. Brilliant album. I think it's produced by Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare, I think, isn't it? It's got a kind of dub reggae sound to it, and this has got another great custom label with Grace's face on it and brown. Beautiful stuff. From 1981 is this album by Marianne Faithfull. This is Dangerous Acquaintances, which is, it's an interesting record. It's got some good songs and good playing and good sounds, but her voice is as rough as hell. The final song on the album, Truth, Bitter Truth, she literally sounds just like some old crone who's stumbled into the recording studio. Shockingly bad vocal performance, but hey ho. And quite a plain label to finish with, bit of an anticlimax, but again, Islands were quite good at coming up with custom labels for their artists. So that's me done. 10 on Island. Give me 10. Take care. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.